I would say COVID-19 has already changed the way we eat, we live, and we socialize. And in every change, there are new opportunities for brand and entrepreneur to take it and try to turn their business from the negative side into positive side. And there are a number of proof that some of them already succeeded as well. Second one is, as you can see, some of this data they are not new. Some of you already know some already, but I quite believe that none of them has seen everything in this, but because your social feed is already personalized, so you may miss out something that which is valuable for the business. Yeah, but with the raw data, we can see all of these things. So this is very important for us from now in the future and also in the future to start listening consumer behavior, because they're gonna be changing a lot, and some of them they're gonna change forever. Some of them is gonna come back to a normal state.
But from now on, you can see that it's not only the two circles. We have another circle which is social influence. So we have to manage the new ROI, not only return on investment, but how brand can return on influence and impact. And this is what this session is about, that we must understand the data. Big data is good, but it's going to be useless if we don't understand what drives this big data. Small data may be better if we can apply it to our business. We must understand the behavior, we must decode it. And when we say this is a new trend, what we want to see behind this trend is that how matter it is to our business, how matter it is that you can adopt and make another ROI in terms of return on influence.
You've basically got the three stages, and again, there's variation on this, from a peak where people do become anxious, and like I've tried to present there at the start with the fear factor, and then people start to see a situation with more recovery coming, businesses are interrupted in some way, people are starting to come out and think differently, and then ultimately there's a stage of bounce back, which the recovery is starting to occur when we get back to what we know is normal. In the short term, the recovery is expected to be around social gatherings. The recovery is around stocks, so they believe that the stock options can come back. The shopping, of course, is going to move from direct online back into that mall environment, department stores, and slowly we're going to progress back to that normal life. And we know ourselves, even grooming, of course, all the different grooming shops are now open, and we're moving ahead with that as well. In the longer term, this is important. This is very important, like I mentioned earlier. And what you see in terms of the elements around this is, yes, certain restaurants are coming through, and yes, I'll get back to that, but you'll notice the other factors, which is more business survival, my monthly income, how much I'm going to spend, which is the economic side, and of course linked back to the business and the salary, which is also job security. So longer term, the more concerns around this area than what the pandemic's brought back in terms of changes.
Wellness industry, and it just happened that as COVID started, we undertook a new piece of research to try to understand what were the most important narratives around wellness around the world. Now, this is the results of the top 10 narratives that we found around wellness. Some of these are less relevant than others, perhaps, to the Thailand market. But if we can go to the next chart, what was really significant was that when we looked at brands that most highly connected with transforming the wellness world, what you can see here is that brand Suntory, based here in Bangkok, actually performed better than any other brand that we measured this against. This is only a small sample of the brands we looked at. But what's actually happening then is that some brands like brand Suntory, which have a heritage that may in some people's minds be connected as a little bit old-fashioned in terms of the brand's essence of chicken products, etc. But the overall brand equity, next chart please, is really seen as transformative and as something that has a lot of a lot of positive emotions. This chart simply shows that in the research we did, we're able to measure the different emotions that are connected with a brand. And as you can see here, they're mostly green, positive emotions, or purple, which is emotional cues like surprise and astonishment. And what that means is that people are now looking for brands and associating messaging with brands that they see as really helping them transform and cause delight in these circumstances about how they can maintain wellness. And that's an important thing for us to think about.
What is more interesting is that if you look at how people elicit this coping strategy through the brands, we actually asking people to select the brand that actually helped them get through the COVID-19. And we also ask them to kind of distinguish between these two types of brand. One is the utilitarian brand, which is the brand that provides them with functional benefits and performance, such as this brand. This brand actually popped up during our research. And the other is the brand that provide beyond functional benefit, but reflects who they are, which are this kind of brands. There are much more brands that's happening, but we just select the one that's really, really pop up. And what we understand is that, you know, when people feel that there are lack of control in the situation, they will look for the brands that respond to the functional and performance need. So these are like utilitarian, as you can see from like these different age group that have the emotion that feel lack of control. But if there is a feeling of scare or fear of existence happening, the brand that they will select is the symbolic brand. Because the symbolic brand actually represent who they are,